we call it growing up market. You call it moving upstream. I think it's pretty much the same. Give us your definition in terms of, the why, the what, the how. It's obviously not as simple as saying, okay, I'm just going to work with higher net worth clients. It's more complex than that. So I'd love your perspective.
Sure. It's about moving up from where you are. That's the simple answer. But if I were to expand it a bit, the definition of high net worth is different depending on who you talk to. And there are plenty of data sources in the industry that are a little inconsistent, but I pay attention to the World Wealth Report. And over the past handful of years, interesting trend in that the as global wealth has expanded, it's become more top heavy. So big gap between wealthy and not. And the definition of high net worth has expanded. Like there's a wide band, but also the floor has doubled over the last handful of years. So 2 to 10 million is high net worth, but it really goes to where you are today. If we're dealing with a successful practice that's still kind of in startup mode, and their marketplace suggests you deal with mass affluent clients that are more blue collar, to say, hey, start working with $7 million clients, that's not going to happen. So your marketplace sort of dictates, and also what you're willing to offer, what you're willing to do in terms of how you talk about yourself, what you're willing to do in terms of how you market yourself will dictate that as well. So it's about moving up from where you are. So as you know, in your coaching world and your coaching efforts, if there's too much of a gap between current state and desired state, it's really difficult for someone to build momentum because they're so focused on that big gap. So if someone's average client's $1 million, it's about getting to 2. If their average client's 2, it's about getting to 4. And so that's what I mean by moving upstream. But more significantly and more specifically, it's about exploring and exposing the overlooked and undervalued tactics on the margin within the practice that'll help you attract, serve, and retain that wealthier person. There's a difference. It doesn't appear wholesale, but there are some things you need to do on the margin.
Okay, very enlightened insights there. And, it's interesting as you were talking about the World Wealth Report and just giving your insights. Not too long ago, a friend of mine put me in possession of a concept I had not heard about called the Cantillon effect. And the Cantillon effect speaks to what you're talking about in terms of the gap between the high net worth and some of the mass clients, even the clients that are maybe trending in the right direction. And a lot of this has to do with how much money has been injected into the economy in the last 5, 10, 20 years. It's pretty colossal number. So